Hi, I pray all's well with you. I know it's been a tough time these last few months. People have struggled physically, mentally, financially, and spiritually as well. Compound all that with the weather we've had over the last few weeks, the rain, snow, gale, storm and tempest and floods. And couple that in with the news we heard this week where over 100,000 people have died from COVID related illnesses. It was a real sad day. I think it really brought a lot of people down. We grieve as a nation, and we should do that. We come alongside and we mourn with those that mourn and lament as well. Hearing people's stories about their losses of loved ones, it's been heartbreaking to actually hear these are real people, not just numbers, with their family and friends. And keep praying. We'll come through this eventually. When it comes to God, I believe I'm the spiritual optimist. That is a God of hope and a God of encouragement, and we will come through the other side. A few months ago, one of the sayings that kept coming out was, "It is what it is." Well, I never got what it was. A more recent saying has been, "There's light at the end of the tunnel," and I like that because that's sort of a thing of optimism. It's a thing of hope and looking to the future, and we're going in the right direction. However, I did come across an old gentleman. I was out on my daily walk exercise and had a brief chat with him, social distancing, of course. And I did say, I do believe there's light at the end of the tunnel. And his retort and reply to me was, "That's all right, long as there isn't a train coming the other way." You see, you need a bit of cheerful optimism help you through the day. So I've been thinking over the last few weeks, which is always dangerous, and realising how we feel at this particular time of the year, even without all the stuff that's gone on, the doom and the gloom, and it's a pretty sad time, isn't it? Remind me again why we actually go away to sunnier climes this time of year. And we need light. I realise one of the main things, we need the sun, we need the blue sky, we need blue sky church, but we need that vista outside, something to lift us and cheer us up. I was also looking at a lot of festivals held at this particular time of the year and realising that probably people just want cheering up, something to look forward to, eating, drinking, dancing and singing. A few months ago, we had the festival of Broadley, which is the festival for Hindus, Sikhs and Jains, and they light loads and loads of candles, and it's a celebration of coming out of darkness to light. Then we come to our Christmas celebrations, obviously in December the 25th here, and it was a strange old one this year, wasn't it, by any stretch of the imagination. However, I think we've tried to make the best of it. I know our local council asked us to join in with them in bringing the Christmas decorations out a little bit earlier to lighten the gloom outside, and we duly did that. Went out and put some lights out, then I put some more out, then I went and bought some more lights, and then I went up the loft and found about another 2 or 3 boxes and brought them down. By the time we finished, it looked like Manchester runway, our garden and yard did. However, our next door neighbour, when she saw the spectacular sight, she said it cheered her up no end coming home in the dark and lightened her spirit. So it was worth it just for her. We come to a couple of other festivals, Jewish festivals of the Feast of the Tabernacle and Hanukkah, and that's not long gone. And that is a celebration of something happened 165 years BC. And the story behind this was the Syrians had attacked Jerusalem, they captured it, and they ransacked the place. They're not very subtle in what they did. And they desecrated the temple, they put a statue of Zeus up, and cut swine up there for food. And you can imagine that didn't go down too well with the local community. And there's a bunch of Jews, rebellious Jews called the Maccabees, and they were seeing what was happening. They were angry, and they thought, we're not putting up with this, we're going to take Jerusalem back. And they duly did that, and they routed the Syrians. And in celebration, they wanted to rededicate the temple to God, and they got the menorah, the candlesticks. They were going to light it, and they only found enough sacred oil to last for one day. But they were just on that kind of roll at the time. They decided to light it, and the oil actually lasted for 8 days. So they saw this as a sign from God, and Hanukkah lasts for 8 days. And the celebration carried on year after year. And the way they did this they would get giant candelabras out, not the Liberace ones. These were 73 feet high, and they would light them, and the whole courtyard was flooded with light, the city and beyond, and a spectacular sight to see. And they feasted and enjoyed the celebration. Right, I'm going to fast forward from there to the time of Jesus' birth. And when he was dedicated to the temple, it said that Simon recognized when he held the baby in his arms, calling Jesus a light to bring revelation to the Gentiles and the glory of your people Israel. See, Jesus would have been at both these festivals. And it was at the festival of Hanukkah that he declared, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. What a declaration that was, when all the lights were out. I am the light of the world. To go along with some of the other I ams as well. I am the way, the truth and the life, and the resurrection, and all these good and positive things. I am the vine, the good shepherd. I am the door. Amazing things and statements that Jesus came out with. They were either totally wrong or right, and we absolutely believe that Jesus is the way, he is the truth, he is the life, he is the light. And then he takes it a step further when he tells his disciples, you are the light of the world. And they have passed that on to us, that we are the light of the world. That's our calling. No matter where we are in life, the Lord is our light and strength if you believe in him, following him. And thankfully, millions and millions of people have latched onto that, and lives have been totally changed for the good. That the revelation of Jesus Christ to us is one of the most amazing things I can think of. This amazing God that gave his life for us, to die on the cross and rose from the dead. Absolutely stunning. And we can sit here and say, wow, that's amazing. But it doesn't stop there. We're called not to hide our light under the bushel. I logged on to the city prayer group a couple of weeks back, and there's 100 people on Zoom. People couldn't actually get on. I think it went onto YouTube. And there were people wanting and crying out to God for healing for the nation, for our city. They were praying for the schools, for the hospitals, for teachers, for all those who were really involved, the patients. It was amazing to actually hear this. And we sang a couple of songs, and one was Light of the World, who stepped down into darkness. And the other hill songs were encouraging and imploring us to shine our light out there. And we might think at this particular time, it's not the best time to do this. There's a natural thing to pull up the drawbridge and hibernate until it's all over. But that's not our calling. God has called us to be light, and God is actually moving. It's probably one of the most exciting and thrilling times to be light to the world, because people are feeling vulnerable. They're wondering what it's all about. You know, 1 minute where everything's okay and tickety-boo, and then all of a sudden there's something like this comes along. I was hearing about Rick Warren's church in Saddleback, California, and they reckon 80 people a day are coming to Christ. 80 people a day. And since March, up to just after Christmas, over 17,000 people have made commitments to follow him. And 12,000 of those have come through on one-to-one. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know if it's done on through the old computer here or how, but God has moved. They started to give out 2,000 food packages. That went up to 45,000 people. The church moving out and reaching out to the communities in these dark times. Nicky Gumbel, the founder of Alpha, he said Alpha has just gone through the roof. People are logging in and trying to find out the answers of life, what is actually going on. And he gave 3 reasons. He said people can log on. You can sit there in the onesies and PJs and watch and listen. Not the threatening environment maybe of a church. He said 2, they've got time. And 3, they're asking the questions. What is life all about? 1 minute we're sitting there, I've got a great job, family, nice car, and all of a sudden the rug is taken from under me and I'm vulnerable. Sting sang how fragile we are, and that's hit home, hasn't it? We've realised that's exactly what we are. Jonathan Sachs, the rabbi, he says we've been comfortable and complacent for a long time. We've coasted along for half a century with unprecedented affluence, unprecedented freedom, and unprecedented opportunity. This has really hit home that we need something more than what we've actually got. Pete Greig, the founder of 24/7, he studied revival for 25 years, and he says he's never found it happen when everything's nice and we've got all these comfortable things and all the trappings of the worldliness of things around us. It always comes at time of suffering. And as a nation we're suffering, as a world we're suffering, and that's why we've come to God and asking him, we need you. And people out there are needing the light. There's a new song that's come out by Brandon Lake, and it's called Run to the Light. The Archbishop of Canterbury was on the other day. He said we should walk in the light. That means we show the love, as I said at the beginning, and compassion of Christ. We have the answer and you have it. So we just encourage you not to hide this light under the bushel, but be a light to all men, that they may know our wonderful God and our wonderful Saviour. So the challenge is out there for us. It can happen. It's an exciting time. Just start to pray and ask God, just use me. Here I am, totally available. In the impossible times, God makes things possible, and he'll do it through you. So be blessed and be used. And I look forward to hearing the amazing testimonies, what God has done in your life. God bless for now. Hopefully see you soon.